Still not yet. Still not yet. You guys were close, but still not yet. Hey everybody, I'm Cortez, and I'm a critic, and welcome back. We are recapping Week 4 of the NFL season, as, like I said before, some teams have yet to win their first game. But let's start, of course, with Thursday Night Football. So the Dallas Cowboys won. Yeah, we can call that. They won. Yes, they won. They beat the Giants, a game that I was honestly really surprised that Dallas did not pull the full weight of the gods on them. But they won, and there were some thoughts of me thinking, you know, if the Giants get one freaking touchdown, it'll be great. Now, granted, of course, there were a lot of conversation about penalties and flags and ref ball and all the lovely jazz we love to complain about when it comes to sports. But Dallas did get the win. I don't know how comfortable you should feel about it, but a division foe you're supposed to beat, and you did. Honestly, I'm just saying, hey, they beat the team they're supposed to beat, and we should be happy with that. And honestly, in a short week and on the road against a division foe, after you guys just lost back-to-back home games, take the win. Dallas got the win, and yeah, I mean, Malik Nabers did the best he could, but seriously, this just shows more of the Giants, you know, unable to finally become a full team, and Dallas doing just enough to be good, but Dallas with the win. Seriously, I don't plan this, but the Houston Texans avoid a scare from the winless Jacksonville Jaguars, and they get a home division win. There's been a lot of division games this weekend that basically were trying to almost like dictate the first quarter of the year, trying to dictate who's good, who's real, who is mediocre, who is basically question marks galore. And the Houston Texans, and it's division games, I always feel like ignore records, ignore stats, because it's division. Division games like a rivalry game in sports. Sometimes you may believe you may know something, but at the end of the day, you don't know. Houston Texans found a way to win, and that's what good teams do, even against adversities. It's very hard to win the NFL, and losing sucks. But for some reason, it felt more that there were more question marks about the Jaguars being winless, and more about the Texans finding a way to win. I mean, the Texans were already favored to win the AFC South, and the way the AFC South looking, Texans might run away with it by week 12. But Houston gets a win. They needed especially a bounce back after they got blown out by a Viking team. And very much like a team in the South, they did what they had to do at home against a division foe, and they did. Houston gets the win. Everything is back on track. So how many people out there are still very confident about the Falcons? Because I'm not a Falcon fan, but even I'm thinking Saquon Barkley dropped the ball, and the Saints did not commit a penalty, and the Saints actually hold off. So the Falcons needed two last minute, not last second, last minute, and some, or maybe just 50 seconds, to go down and score a game-winning drive to avoid them being 0-4. This team could be winless going against Tampa, a Tampa team that basically just flexing its muscle over everyone else in the NFC. The only good news is that they're the home team on Thursday night. That might be the best benefit for them. But another game where it felt more like the other team blew it than you guys won it. And it's weird to say that because you guys scored no offensive touchdown, but you did get 2 touchdowns because sadly the Saints messed up. And a lot of it very boneheaded ways. So yes, you can cheer. You guys are 2-2. Yes, you did. Yes. But sooner or later, there's going to be a come down to earth moment. Plus, you probably should have beaten the Chiefs, but you didn't. So you guys got the win. Good for you. But I'm telling you right now, don't publicly express it. No one likes a lucky winner. Falcons with the win. So I'm sure going into this week, a lot of people were worried about which Tampa Bay team is going to show up. And boy, was I on pins and needles, but when it was 24-0, I still wasn't comfortable, because like, And it was 33-16 when it was like, heck, when the game was over, I still was like, we won. More injuries. We're going to Atlanta, who they have the momentum because they are the home team on a short week, and the Bucs are coming in basically with, people on stretchers and casts and gauze. But the Bucks win. Baker showed out. The Buccaneers look good. Vita Vea sacked quarterbacks. They look good. Now, the sad thing is, for the second time between the Bucks and the Eagles, the conversation by multiple medias and multiple people is, man, the Eagles suck. Let's talk about them for 40 minutes to the hour segment. So Tampa gets no love and sometimes even criticized for saying, well, the Eagles didn't have the receivers. But some of the smart people in suits and blouses will say, yeah, but the offense does not play defense. The same defense that harasses Derek Carr and the Saints and made that great second win against the Saints the week before. So, Bucks get the win, just not the credit, and honestly, I'm okay with that. Ignore us, don't talk about us, say nothing. Let us go under the radar, and let's focus on the division foe against Atlanta. Bucks with the win. You know what sucks about being undefeated is that whoever defeats you, they get like the ultimate trophy, like, oh my god, you have defeated the great dragon. Now, the game, if you were to watch the game, it did not look like you beat the great dragon. It looked more like the dragon kind of stumbled out of the gate and Joe Flacco came in. Which, funny enough, I think Joe Flacco has found out that rescuing teams from quarterbacks they believe their franchises love, and then saving them might be his calling card late in his career. Plus, he's donned the number 15, which he was successful wearing in Cleveland, and yes, his number superstition phobia his. But, hey, Joe Flacco still got it. Now, I have no idea what the Colts are going to do in the future, but I can't help but feel like this is more of the Colts trying to refine their identity than more about the Steelers losing. Even in the loss, Justin Fields still looked pretty well incorporating with the offense. But man, there were still some boneheaded mistakes that I can't help but think that would Russell Wilson really be better? I don't think so. But at the end, the Colts win, and they needed a win to keep up because the Texans are about to run away with this division, and the Colts might be the closest team to stopping them. Colts with the win. To all my Cincinnati fans out there, boy, you guys did not make that win look very convincingly. It kind of scared me a little bit. I thought Andy Dalton might get his revenge against you guys, But you guys got your first win, and trust me, I was wondering if I ever am going to wear, what team that's winless am I going to finally wear their hat? Jacksonville so far is still not making that argument for me, but Cincinnati gets a win, and yes, they won, but the game, if you just look at the scoreboard, you'll think, man, Carolina didn't roll over and die. Makes you wonder the last week opponent against the Raiders was it. But then you start thinking, wasn't this the same Cincinnati team that couldn't get off the field to stop rookie Jaden Daniels and Washington Commanders? So you can't be completely mad because you're like, okay, they scored 30 points for the second week in a row, but the defense gave up 24 points again, plus. And so Bengals get the win, but this looks more like the Rams of the old, where the offense has to score so many points to make up for the lack of defense. That's disappointing. But Bengals, you get your first win of the year, and we all can take a breather. Bengals with the win. So the Vikings are undefeated still, in a game that looked like a complete shellacking of a division foe in Lambeau Field. They literally went, whoo, good thing we didn't blow it at the end. And it's kind of hard to say the Vikings look good when Jordan Love basically scratched and clawed his team back, almost to the point of like, man, just a little bit more time, who knows, we would have been talking about Green Bay's comeback win. But a big win in division foes, and honestly, when it comes to division opponents, like I said before, it really doesn't matter. Whoever wins, don't worry, ugly win, blowout win, win. As long as you win, it doesn't matter really what the score. All that matters is the W's and the L's. This is more about the alphabet than mathematics. The Vikings got to win. They're still undefeated. Surprisingly, the front runner for the number 1 seed in the NFC after a quarter of the year. And yeah, Green Bay, you did your best, man. You did your best. But Vikings are undefeated, and we have to appreciate that, and we have to accept that. Vikings with the win. I know I should be talking about the game, but I never thought I'll be wearing the Denver Broncos hat so quickly. Denver is currently on a 2-game win streak against two teams that I think we would be more comfortable to say Jets and Bucks in the playoffs. $100 easy. But Denver beat both of them. And I think the Denver beating the Jets is more of an embarrassing loss for the Jets than the Denver beating the Buccaneers. Both were on the road, mind you, so I guess they can't win in their home stadium. I guess that's a thing. But 9-10. I don't have the network qualities to make a whole segment about what is going on with it. All I can say is a score where both teams are under 20 points in the NFL when one of them is basically a 4-time MVP Super Bowl champion Aaron Rodgers and one is a rookie quarterback that basically was the last donut in the box. And you're telling me that team did it and the score was 9-10. I can't help but say we don't know the NFL anymore, but Denver gets the win, and that's all that matters. They're 2-2, and with the Chiefs looking like they're on the verge of losing eventually with injuries and just barely enough plays, Denver gets the win, and they keep close in a very not so confident AFC West. Boy, does that week 1 loss to Tampa doesn't really say anything anymore. The Washington Commanders, of all teams, are on a 3-game win streak led by the 2nd overall pick and potentially argument for the future for the next 5 years of who should have been the number 1 pick or just Chicago's franchise is a terrible organization. But the Washington Commanders, a team that went through 3 names in 4 years, is leading the NFC East on a 3-game win streak, have punted less time than they have thrown in completions, and they haven't really but I'm a loss for words. Yes, it's Arizona, so let's not get too crazy. It's not like they played against, the Baltimore Ravens. But Jaden Daniels looks really good. And I think a lot of us were kind of, me included, were thinking the NFC East looked too complicated, too difficult, too power strong, too headhunted. That third play is the best. And they're saying, I remember what you said. Now we're going to show why. Washington wins convincingly, but I think it's more of the things to come. Undefeated since the loss to Tampa. And it makes the Buccaneers look pretty good, thinking, hey, look how good Jaden Daniels with. So that win of, you're going to beat the Washington Commanders doesn't seem that bad anymore. Yeah, Washington, like their logo, get the W. Clever segue. Chicago gets a win. Yes, is it considered abuse if you beat up the physically enabled? The Rams, they had a big win, but his division fell, so ignore it. But Chicago gets the win, and now the Caleb Williams banners are starting to hang. They're starting to get excited, and I'm thinking, you still got to play the Vikings, Detroit, and Chicago, and Green Bay, right? Vikings, Green Bay, Lions. Cool. Make sure I said that was right. You still got to play those 6 guys, or 3 teams 6 times. So, yes, you beat the Rams that are feeble and wounded. Yes, you did. Congratulations. Win's a win. No one's criticizing. But let's just be frank and say, put down those banners. Because right now, Jaden Daniels taking all the rookie attention away from you. Hell, Bo Nix has won back-to-back game against 2 teams that are probably heavily favored to win their divisions. Caleb, you beat a Rams team that basically was playing with literally one hand behind their back because it's in a cast. So yes, you got the win. But I'm telling you right now, calm down. Calm down. When you play the Vikings, the Packers, and the Lions, then you can talk. But right now, calm it down. But Chicago with the win, that's all that matters. Sometimes there are games in the NFL where you just can't help but say, Somebody has to win this, or maybe watching infomercials would be a more pleasant 3 hours of my life. The Raiders and the Cleveland Browns, both franchises that have history, but history is something you cannot keep repeating in this situation. The Raiders, nah. The Browns, nah. Honestly, for the fans, they may even be going, nah. Cleveland tried, but the Raiders won. That's all that matters. Yada, 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 yada. But this game was just garbage from both ends. Cleveland might be more exciting if Jameis, famous crab leg stealing quarterback, will be their quarterback. And I said it before and I'll say it again. Winston is the better quarterback than Deshaun Watson. And quite frankly, do it. Just do it. Try to save your season, because before you know it, Baltimore is getting momentum. You got to keep up with Baltimore. And if you don't, it'd be pointless if you put Winston in with the last 6 games of the season when they mean nothing. Yes, I understand you're contractually obligated to Deshaun Watson. I know. But try it. Why not? Raiders get the win. Yeah. Raider Nation. Yeah. So sometimes there are games you play where basically you just say, we're supposed to win this, right? And you do. Convincingly, you flex your muscles, you get your starters out fairly quickly and try to avoid any more injuries that you already have. San Francisco is one of those franchises that have star players that have yet to play this season. And somehow they're still winning, even though they just had back-to-back losses, and including the one against the Rams. But division foes speak different languages. But they went to New England and they took care of they went to New England? Or no, were they at home? I don't remember right now. But anyway, San Francisco played the New England Patriots, wherever they were, I don't remember right now. And they did what they had to do. They defeated an inferior opponent and they got a win they needed to win. Cool, they had to. New England, what do you expect from New England? I mean, Miami has no Tua, so there's still a chance you guys can steal a win from Miami. And the Jets lost to Denver, and Buffalo is there, so you're still in the hunt, I guess, for second place. I don't know. But San Francisco gets the win that they needed to, just to get themselves with momentum and positivity. So, Niners with the win. Sorry, New England. The Chiefs won. That should be the end of the story. But the Chiefs are winning, and I think they're dabbling with black magic. How incredibly weird that when Mahomes makes a mistake, and then he tries to make up the mistake, but in order to make up the mistake, he makes an even greater mistake by what he is attempting to make a tackle. He injures his star wide receiver and tears his ACL, who is out for the year. Gone. And you're still telling me that the Chiefs have a chance to win the Super Bowl. And I'm like, yeah, because that defense. Pacheco will come back in time. Travis Kelce will do a duet with Taylor Swift, and maybe he'll get a touchdown. They have a Monday night game against the Saints, which I'm telling you right now, Saints, there's a chance. The Chiefs are weak. Go for it. I'm telling you, the Chiefs are primed for a loss. But after that loss, they may not have another loss for another week or two. But right now, the Chiefs, they're winning. But I can't help but say, yeah, but I'm not confident. I feel like they're due for a loss. They have injuries galore, but they're due for a loss. But Chiefs get the win. And Chargers just keep charging up. Chiefs win. One of my favorite franchises is Lord of the Rings. I think the original 3, mind you, not what's going on right now with everything else, and Hobbit and spin-offs and all that. Let's focus on the first original 3. And I'm not trying to be a cynic here right now about, cinematography and great characterism. I'm talking about titles. Fellowship of the Ring, The Two Towers, and then Return of the King. And that should be the theme for the Baltimore Ravens. The King has returned! Derrick Henry, 1 yard away from a 200-yard performance, single-handedly became the juggernaut that we all knew he was, and he destroyed a Buffalo Bills team that quite frankly got kicked in the balls. Every time they got up, they kept getting kicked in the balls, punched in the balls, till eventually they just got blown and they fell over. The Baltimore Ravens finally looking like the team. And let this be a lesson to you that the first 2 weeks mean squat. Baltimore is 2-2, and they're already talked about as being one of the best teams in the NFL. Top 5, top 10, number 1, number 2 in the AFC compared to the Kansas City Chiefs. So the NFL is a funny thing. The NFL is a funny thing. So yeah, the first 4 weeks of the season is a litmus test. And the first quarter's done. Now we're going to see how many teams that have to deal with injuries and finally got their crap together is going to show up. Baltimore gets a big win against Buffalo, and honestly, that's what it is. They beat Buffalo handily and brought fear in the month of October to everyone else in the division, AFC, and the NFL. Baltimore with the win. Yeah, let's talk about Tennessee getting a win against a Dolphin team that basically has given up on itself. Tennessee gets a win. Who would have thought they would have the first one over the Jacksonville Jaguars? I saved the best for last, and this game was just there. One of the most unanticipating Monday night performances. Maybe if Will Levis and Tua playing to the potential, and of course if Tua was playing, maybe would have been a much more interesting game. But right now, these are two teams basically just trying to find who's not the worst. Tua and the Dolphins have a massive injury problem that basically makes the whole offense basically be a car without a driver and an engine. And the Tennessee Titans, they won without Will Levis. I guess we can say that. So Mayo prices have dropped down. Helms and Duke Mayo stocks are falling. Everyone in the stock market is just selling, Mayo stocks to everybody. But Tennessee gets the win. I don't think anyone was expecting it. To be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised. It was one of the lowest viewed Monday night games so far this year. Both teams were already broken emotionally, and the fan base of both franchises just saw it firsthand, so everyone else can see the shame. Shame. Tennessee won. Shame. And now we get to the good game. So, Detroit and Seattle, even in Seattle, this is one of those games that even the losing team looked better than most teams that won this weekend. Seattle, which I said Walker was going to be the MVP, and he showed why he will be the MVP for the Seattle Seahawks offense. I thought he is more of a reason for Seattle's success, but Geno Smith is proving once again that his time as a comeback player and his time in Seattle was not wasted. The more Geno Smith succeeds, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff, these other quarterbacks that were considered disgusting and forgotten and pushed away, they have basically proven that it was you the problem, not me. Ha-ha! So, but Jared Goff, 18 of 18, 0 incompletions. And the Lions ran the ball like we thought they would have done multiple times. The Lions, to me, look very much a very well-balanced team compared to everyone else in the NFL. Good rushing attack, good passing attack. But I can't help but feel like, boy, that's a lot of points your defense gave up. Good thing your offense is clicking on all cylinders. Still not want to crown them, but an 18 out of 18 performance, big win on prime time, great looking uniforms. Hard to ignore the Lions. The Lions get the win, that's all that matters, but Seattle still look good too. So we can't give both trophies, but Lions get the win. Seattle loses for the first time, but honestly, they're not losers to me. Detroit with the win, Seattle gets a cupcake. So that concludes the NFL for week 4. We are a quarter in the season, and honestly, some teams flex a lot of their muscle against very overrated teams, I would say, like Buffalo, Philadelphia, teams like that. And some teams got the win that basically probably shouldn't, Dallas, Atlanta. And the rest just did what they had to do to go on for the next week. So now the first 4 weeks are done. Now it's time for the next 4 weeks, in my humble opinion, to find out who they really are. And we'll find that out starting with the Thursday night primetime game with my Buccaneers going against Atlanta Falcons. And I'm strangely nervous about that. But until next time, I'm Cortez, and I'm a critic. Thank you so very much for watching.